Hello, my name is Beth Ann. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. Today I just want to share my ranking of the 6 novels that I read for the BookTube Prize Translated Fiction category, the first round, which is the octafinals round, and I was in Translated Fiction Group C. I think I'm remembering that correctly. So I'm basically just going to share my rankings today, and I'm going to share more detailed thoughts about all of these books, either in standalone reviews for some of them, or in my March reading wrap-up, so you can stay tuned for those videos, which should be coming out shortly. But without further ado, let's dive into the rankings. So there are 6 books. So in 6th place, I have Nervous System by Lina Meruane. And this book tried something new. It worked for a lot of the book, and then it just really didn't for me. It just went on too long without anything really happening as a result of the new stuff that was tried in the writing. So talk about that in more detail later, but this book didn't really do it for me. Okay, number 5, we have Winter in Sokcho by Elisa, Shua, Dusapin. I think it's French, so pardon my pronunciation. I will have all the names and author names down below. And Reiner over at Rainier Books did a really excellent description and review of this book, so I will link to that down below. Oh, and this book, just quick, one sentence sort of thing. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was written well. I enjoyed all 6 of these books, honestly. Yeah, really enjoyed this book. Thought it was written well, but it's just a very quiet moment in time. And usually books that are just sort of like a quiet, almost introspective, character-focused moment in time sort of thing, I feel like something more is revealed to me about humanity through the character than I felt like I really got from this book. So I think it was like almost there. It just needed a little bit more to push it over the edge for me into an absolutely fantastic book. Okay, then number 4, we have Brickmakers by Selva Almada. I really loved this book. This was actually the first of the BookTube Prize books that I read. Like I just said, I enjoyed all of them, but I did really love this one as the first one. It's family drama, toxic masculinity in a town in Latin America. And I just thought it was really powerful and really well done. And if you really like that sort of family drama, sort of small town community drama, and fishing, then this book would probably be for you. Okay, then number 3 is Catch the Rabbit, and I'm not going to try to pronounce this author's name. I'm sorry, it's obscured by the sticker, but you can see it down below in the description box. This book comes out of the Balkans, and we follow a main character, Sarah, who hasn't lived in the Balkans for her entire adult life. She has been living in Ireland, in Dublin, and the war in the Balkans happened during her adolescence. And so at the beginning of the book, she gets a phone call out of the blue. It's her best friend from childhood who needs her to come home and help her on an errand, which I won't go into detail about. And so it's sort of about a woman who thinks that she's escaped from her childhood, from some really difficult things in her childhood, and has constructed a whole life for herself, and then how this one relationship, this one friend, really pulls her back into it, and the adventure that they have together for the rest of the novel. So this was a really fun read. And then number 2, now we're in my top 2. So number 2 is The Art of Losing by Alice Zeniter, which was translated from the French. And this is a story of an Algerian family that is sort of torn apart by the war for independence, and comes to France as refugees. And so we are following the main character, and actually now, of course, I'm forgetting her name, Naima. So she lives in the present day. She's a young woman in her 20s or 30s in the present day, and the whole book is sort of told a little bit through her eyes. We're seeing the story of her grandfather in Algeria unfold, and then the story of her father, who came to France as a refugee as a young boy, around 10 or 12, I think, and then how that impacts her present life, and how she decides to search for her roots and uncover all of those stories. So I found the narration really interesting because the actual narrator is an unnamed entity who talks about Naima in the third person, but then all of the stories and research we see is partly things that Naima uncovers, and then partly things that Naima doesn't know, that we're told about from this the viewpoint of this omniscient narrator who does refer to themselves in first person. So I actually really liked that narrative style. And I thought it really helped to maintain my interest in the book and move it along. So that was number 2. And then we have The Slaughterman's Daughter by Yaniv Iczkovits. Probably wrong. The author's name written down below. This is translated from the Hebrew. And this was my favorite book because, like many of the other ones in this category, it really deals a lot with family and with community, and family and community in an area that is affected by conflict. And all of these books have dealt with people whose lives are impacted by personal and or societal violence in various ways, and how families and societies can break apart in response to that. And so this book covers that as well, but it's also just, it's hilarious. I was cracking up through so much of this book, and it's just a book that skillfully uses humor to pick apart some really horrible time periods. I mean, we've got like the Russian police and the Russian secret police, and I'm like cracking up about it. So yeah, I just absolutely love this one. It's sort of a wild, improbable tale of adventure, and in what is now the Ukraine. Actually, the scope of this book geographically is what is now the Ukraine, overflowing a little bit into Poland. This book was just hilarious, but also, yeah, just really poignant and meaningful and just full of great observations about humanity and society and religion, and I just absolutely love this one. So that is my ranking. It was really painful to have to rank all 6 of these books because I did actually really enjoy all of them. So I will give star ratings at some point. I'm not remembering my star ratings off the top of my head, but these were all at least 3 stars up to 5 stars. And the only book that I would have no interest in reading again was Nervous System. And I hate to say that about a book because it was beautifully written, except that just the stylistic choice that the author made was not, for me, the power of it was not sustained for the entire novel. And the novel also just never really went anywhere. Like, it felt like the author was going somewhere and then it didn't get there. So anyway, very quick thoughts and ranking of the 6 books that I read. I'm hoping to be a judge in the next round, but I don't know what category, because I said I could be a judge actually I said I could judge all 3 of the categories. So we'll see if I get selected and which one I get selected for. All right, if you have read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts below. And as I said, I will provide more detailed comments about these books, either in my March reading wrap-up or in some standalone reviews for some of these books. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.